Hello, everybody. It's Heidi from Tarot Times with Heidi, and I'm here to talk about tea communities. So, tea just brings people together. Yeah, I found that a lot actually, is that when I'm meeting someone new, I can just be like, "Hey, how are you doing? I really like to get to know you better. Would you like to do a tea ceremony with me?" It's just like such a nice thing to do with people. And I find it a lot nicer than like going for coffee or because it's more intimate. You're sharing yourself, like we talked about, like each tea server or tea ceremonialist maybe has their own style, and so you're sharing yourself with the person that you're getting to know, and that's a generosity of heart. Tea communities love to serve tea for each other. So like I just met, I well re-met. I met this lady named Pam, and she's so lovely. I really liked her, and then I just met her at a intention gathering, and then I met her again at a sound bath, and I found out that she practices Gongfu Cha, and immediately we're like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have the Gongfu Cha for you. You're gonna have to Gongfu Cha for me, and we're like already stoked on like serving tea for each other, like tea ceremonies. Tea ceremonialists like love to practice tea, and so it's like really nice to practice tea together. And that's a kind of a is a difference in, like I say, well, maybe not, but in like yoga, for example, like you practice yoga and it's meditation, it's mindfulness, but then like you don't really talk too much with other yogis. Like you chat a bit while you're putting on your shoes, but tea ceremonies, you do a tea ceremony, you're going to talk for half an hour. You know what I mean? Or like sometimes you can do a meditation meetup group, but like oftentimes you don't like chat afterwards. You meditate and maybe chat a little bit. You talk about how nice it was and you go home. Unless they're like facilitating an active connection point, whereas tea is social. Like there is a built-in social component, and so it just draws people together. And you'll notice that there's certain people that are drawn to tea ceremony. Like people that like tea ceremony are like nice people. They're awesome people. Like they're really nice people. Like they're mindful. They want to sit in ceremony. They want to be present. They want to experience the different the tea brews and how the tea flavor changes. They're not bored of it. They're not like, oh, I need something more exciting. They're really down to just like be mindful and have a nice conversation about whatever it is that comes up for everybody to talk about. Like sometimes they're like, I have something I want to share. But oftentimes the conversation just emerges naturally, like through a shared moment, just because everyone's being present with the tea, you know? Mm, yeah, and the people that we surround ourselves really, they do matter. We do inform each other, we influence each other, we take care of each other. And so it's nice to be around other nice people that are like doing their personal work and being mindful. Like even if you're like, I don't want to do my personal work because so like in the trenches, like tea ceremony is kind of chill. Like you show up and you have this really enjoyable practice, and inevitably you will do your personal work because you're becoming more mindful because you're spending time in meditation doing tea ceremonies. Like you are becoming more mindful. And it's not just like, oh, I like to be around people who are mindful. Like you are doing the work, you are becoming more mindful. And the people that are drawn to spending time with you in ceremony, tea ceremony time, are people that are open to doing that as well. And so I find that it's the people who are drawn to tea ceremonies are people that, like, if I have something to tell them and it's not nice, they will be able to listen and be present for it, without making a judgment on it. They will think a bit before they react, like, or if they do react, they'll maybe apologize later for it, be like, oh, sorry, I was reactionary. Like there's a pause in between their actions and what they're doing, and it's a really nice way of having a mindful community. So if you, yeah, even if, and it is so much more social than like yoga, or I find it more social than meditation, unless you're around meditators that like really want to cultivate that social environment. Like I was a part of a yoga studio that like really mindfully cultivated social connections. They had the sunroom, which was full of tea. Like they were tea ceremonialists. And so when you're in the sunroom, you took off your shoes, you had some tea, you chatted. And then if you wanted to be internal and process, you would go into the moon room, and that was where you did the yoga. And if you were in the moon room on your mat, you didn't talk to other people. You were assumed that you were being getting into the zone and getting into the yoga, into more of an internal practice. So they had the sort of the sun room and like the yang room and the yin room kind of. And I did go, like, sometimes meditators are interesting where they want to socialize afterwards, but I found that most meditation groups that I go to, like, you show up, you meditate, you might discuss a Dharma talk or discuss something that came up for people in session, but you're not like just casually chatting. Whereas when tea ceremony, you can just have a conversation. It's not necessarily, it is structured, but I find it more organic. Um, but that just might be my personality as well. Um, I'm sure there's meditation groups out there, like the yoga studio that I was talking about, that did the sun room and the moon room, that like have like really organic conversations afterwards. Um, but I haven't really experienced them. So that's maybe just outside of my realm of experience. But I know that tea ceremony is like built in social, is built in social. Uh, and when you get to know another person that does tea, like the funnest thing is going to their house and like seeing their tea cakes and seeing their like what kind of tea do they have and do they have a really elaborate setup? Is it more simple? Like how do they express themselves through the tea? Like is fun and it's nourishing. So it's a nice way of making friends and like doing something together that's like elevating, instead of like going out for a drink, which can be elevating, but it's not always elevating. And I don't drink because I have medication, so like doing a tea ceremony is kind of like drinking for me because you'll get elevated in the session, and then that's kind of like you'll like my Adrian, a friend of mine, calls it being tea high or tea stoned. But yeah, it's a co-created experience for sure. Anyway, that's a little bit about tea and community making. If you have any questions or comments or stories, please reach out. Use the booking link if I've already sent you one, or you can send me an email at tarottimeswithheidi@gmail.com. Tell me the course, tea ceremony, and tell me the video, which is tea communities. All right, take care. And then we can book a tutoring Q&A and we can chat some more. Okay, take care. Bye, everyone.